Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are all doing well. We are undertaking activity of briefly introducing chapters related to our past, part 3, or in other words, history textbook of class 8th. Last video session was related to civilizing natives and educating the nation. Civilizing natives and educating the nation chapter explains about the British projection of their rule in India. British projected their rule as the purpose of civilization and purpose to civilize Indians and educating the Indian citizens. And we also studied about Lord Macaulay's views about the Oriental literature and how adamant he is in explaining that the Oriental literature or the literature of Asia or the East may not be equal to one rack of a European good library or shelf of a good European library. Today let us undertake the chapter that is women, caste and reform. The very name itself suggests that this chapter deals about various social reforms undertaken in India during the British period, and several social reformers or the leaders, social reformers, how they were very keen in changing certain established evil practices in India. So chapter deals about various social reformers in the field of education, in the field of religion and in the field of various eradicate social evil. Chapter begins with the system of opposing the system of sati. You know very well, when we remember the system of sati, we remember Raja Ram Mohan Roy, because Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a person who was responsible for abolition of sati system. So sati system was very inhuman or a cruel practice where if husband dies, the woman was forced to jump into the funeral pyre and kill herself. Now you can see the picture of sati. You can see the people are throwing the poor lady. You can see here she is thrown to the burning funeral pyre. This is considered as very inhuman practice. So Rajaram Mohan Roy, with the help of William Bentinck, succeeded in abolishing the system of satis. Apart from that, we are also going to study about the system of the caste system in India. We studied in the junior classes that the Varna system or the caste, which divide into 4: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. But the problem was not the division of caste. The problem was in the later part There is a lot of discrimination between upper caste and the lower caste. The lower caste people treated very badly by the upper caste, mainly by the Brahmins. So we are studying about various social reformers or the leaders who took a lot of effort to remove the evil practice called untouchability. So definitely the Shudras and Ati Shudras, how inhumanly they were treated, all those things which we are going to study in this particular chapter. Apart from that, this chapter is also very big chapter compared to the volume wise, because nearly 10 to 12 social reformers and their policies you have to learn. The chapter starts with the greatest social reformer, Rajaram Mohan Roy. Rajaram Mohan Roy's time period is 1772 to 1833. So whenever we study this chapter, you have to remember the name of the social reformer plus his contribution, plus if any organization started by him, like Rajaram Mohan Roy, we have to remember Brahma Samaj, Brahma Sabha or a Brahma Samaj. So chapter explains very clearly about Rajaram Mohan Roy and his contribution to the Indian society. Now, why Rajaram Mohan Roy could feel that the Sati system is bad? One of the reasons is that Rajaram Mohan Roy was a linguist. He was expert in several languages, Sanskrit, Persian and other foreign languages. Because he was very expert in several European languages, he could read the literature of other European languages where he could not find the similar practices like Sati. So he felt that the system of Sati is very, very cruel. So with the help of William Bentinck, Rajaram Mohan Roy could succeed in abolishing or banning of Sati system in the year 1829. So in this chapter, of course, this is a painting of Rajaram Mohan Roy. You can see Rajaram Mohan Roy considered as the pioneer of social reforms in India. Of course, this, at least few of some of the cadets may be knowing this system of festival, that is hook swinging festival. This is very popular festival. Devotees underwent peculiar form of suffering as a part of ritual worship, which hooks pierced through their skin. They swung themselves in a wheel. The early 19th century, when the European officials began to criticize Indian customs and barbaric practices, this way the rituals came under severe attack. So this is actually torturing the body, torturing the human body in the name of festivals or in the name of religion. Apart from that, we are also going to study about the contribution of by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, the Vidyasagar is the title given to him because he was very, very highly knowledgeable person. That's the reason why he was given the title of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And we are also going to study about Veerasalingam Pantulu, who taken a lot of effort for arranging association for widow remarriage, which was not accepted those days. So And we are also going to study about Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and of course Swami Dayanand Saraswati is Arya Samaj. Even today in North India, you can see the people who are still supporting the practices of Arya Samaj, and still there are people who support Arya Samaj practice in North India. So we study about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Veerasalingam Pantulu. Not only that, and we are also going to study about their contribution. Cadets, hope you remember this name, that is Rasundari Devi, because the reference is there in the last year textbook, as well as I think you are studying about Pandita Ramabai and Rasundari Devi in your Sanskrit textbook. So what is the purpose of highlighting this? The purpose of highlighting this is that we have to understand that not only men reformers, there were also women social reformers who took lead in organizing or fighting against the evil practices which were prevalent in India those days. And another remarkable name is Mumtaz Ali and Begum Rokeya Shekhawat Hussain. You can see another famous name, that is Begum Rokeya Shekhawat Hussain. It is very difficult from the background of Muslims those days to come up and face the society and fight for the justice or involve in social reforms or social work. But still we could see few leaders like Begum Rokeya Shekhawat Hussain. So we are going to study about Begum Rokeya Shekhawat Hussain. One more social reformer, women social reformer, which we are going to study about, Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai, I am sure about that Sanskrit boys may be studying about this, because she was a great scholar of Sanskrit. She felt that even though she was a Hindu, she felt that even Hinduism is not so open or supportive to the women. That's why she took a lot of effort to study, and she founded a widow's home at Pune to provide shelter to widow. Now why every now and then this is repeated? Because the condition of widows in those days was very pathetic, because religion was not supporting them, people were not supporting them. That's the reason why the condition of widows were very pathetic. Moreover, early marriage or child marriage was very rampant or a common practice those days. So the contribution of Pandita Ramabai also remarkable. So we are going to study about that also in this particular chapter. So cadets, can you remember now how many social reformers we have discussed till now, or just refer their name? We are not discussing in detail. Yeah, please start. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Yeah. Second, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Yes. Third, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Yes. Fourth, Veerasalingam Pantulu. Yes. Then Begum Rokeya Shekhawat Hussain and Tarabai Shinde, and finally what we referred is Rasundari Devi, and the final one just now we have completed, that Pandita Ramabai. So apart from that, we are also going to study about reforms in the caste and social aspects. So that is what caste and social reform. When we speak about caste and social reform, we should understand that in India, the condition of lower caste was very sad or very pathetic. They were not allowed to participate in a public place, or they were not allowed to use the public facilities. For example, the public well, library, or public places. If you read the autobiography of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, definitely you will come to know how much Ambedkar suffered because he belongs to Dalits community. So we are going to study about Ambedkar and the Dalit movement. Ambedkar belonged to a community called Mahar community. Apart from that, we are also going to study about equality and justice, Satnami movement, and of course one of the greatest social reformer of South, that is Sri Narayana Guru. So we are going to study about Sri Narayana Guru, and one of the greatest statement of Narayana Guru, Oru Jati, Oru Matam and Oru Daivam, means Sri Narayana Guru says that there is only one caste, one religion and one God for humankind. So there is no need of fighting that Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma and all those things. He says that for entire human beings, of course we are all human beings, we have to respect that. So in this chapter, that's what I told you, it's a very huge chapter, means volume wise a big chapter. You have to remember names of various social reformers. Not only that, their contribution to the Indian society. And apart from that, we are also going to study about temple entry movement. You may be surprised, what is this temple entry movement, isn't it? Those days, the lower class caste Dalits were not allowed to enter temple. Even today also there may be some parts of India where they may not be allowed to enter. But those days it was very common that Dalits were not allowed to enter inside the temple. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar started movement called temple entry movement. So temple entry movement started by Dr. Ambedkar, that also we are going to study. And one of the greatest leader from South, we are going to study about Periyar Ramaswamy Naikar, or E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, or was popularly known as Periyar, who criticized Ramayana and Mahabharata and outrightly criticized all the text. So cadets, this chapter I told you, you have to remember a lot of names. Not only that, you have to remember their social reforms related to various social reformers. So before, of course, hopefully I think when I am teaching this chapter, you may be physically present in the school. Let us hope for that. Otherwise, of course, please write down the important social reformers whenever you write about this particular chapter. Okay. Apart from that, you can see briefly it is given here, that is about Brahmo Samaj, then Henry Vivian, Louis Vivian Derajo, Ramakrishna Mission and Swami Vivekananda, Prarthana Samaj, Ved Samaj, Aligarh movement, the Singh Sabha. So lot of movements and lot of associations we have to learn in this particular chapter. So cadets, a testing skill for your memory. So chapter number, of course, chapter number 8, we discuss about various social reforms as well as leaders, religious leader, social leaders in the form of caste, religion, and we are going to study in detail about their contribution for the upliftment of Indian society. Please go through the video. You have to spend just 20 minutes per class, so I think you may definitely can do that. Thank you. I'll meet you in one more video session. Thank you.